Hello, everyone. Sorry about the delay there. I would much rather the technical problems that have cropped up and kneecapped me tonight happen tonight rather than tomorrow night when we have our guest, Skylar Hernstrom, on. Good to see you all. But if it could go wrong, it did go wrong this evening in the preamble and the setup and so on and etc. Don't worry, the military drone strike front 242 video camera effect will go away in just a minute, or at least I hope it will. Certainly hope it will. How are you guys? Good to see you all. Now, the question might come up, are we going to talk about Descent into the Depths of the Earth, D1? Because I know you guys all enjoyed G1, G2, and G3. At least that's what the metrics tell me. And the answer is, dear friends, yes. Yes, we are. But not tonight. Not in the short amount of time between now and, of course, AD&D First Edition, which we're going to be live streaming that to you guys here very shortly. But yes, we are going to get to it, just not right this minute. Not tonight. But you are going to get to see that. There we go. There we go. Like I said, little technical hiccups. Our internet connection pooped the bed, as they say. Literally, I sat down, got ready to start everything up, try to load in the browser to point it at StreamYard, and it's like, negatory, good buddy. So I jump up, run over to the editing, gaming, blah, 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 whatever PC. In the process, disconnect the power for the main camera. Main screen turn off. It, not you. So I realize when I sit down and I finally have internet going again, that I have no camera. So I had to dash over and plug that back in. And when it reboots, it has a dirty field of view. That is the crosshairs, all the camera data you see around and that, which I normally have tried to make sure that you guys don't get an eyeful of. So that was just kind of a comedy of errors. But anyway, that aside, back to what I was saying. So let me think now, because we've got a pretty full dance card for the rest of the week, guys. Tomorrow, as I said, Sky Hernstrom will be here, and we're going to be talking to him about his work, his gaming, his love of First Edition AD&D, all that kind of cool stuff. All of his projects that are going on. And then Thursday night, Ricky Maru will be here to talk about Morkborg. And then Friday night, I suppose I could do it Friday night. If we started around 8, because we don't do Gamma Roll till 9:30, maybe we can do a big deluxe send-off for the week. What do you guys think of that? So we'll figure it out. Luther Pendragon. Okay, naked woman with crayfish head worshipped by froggy fishy dudes. Makes sense. Hey, weird stuff goes on underground. You know? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? But anyway, so all that is filling out our dance card this week, and it may be next week. It may be next Monday before you guys get the next taste in the GDQ series. Or again, we might look at G1, 2, 3 and see how, if at all, it differs from G1, G2, and G3, separate standalone modules. One thing I can tell you is it has a gaggle of pre-generated characters in. Whether you consider that a value add or not, well, we'll look at the characters and see how tough they are or are not. And then, as they say, proceed apace. But anyway, so with that said, Blue Dual Poop delayed. Sad. Sorry, Luther. Don't worry, we'll get to her. I can't show her picture online. On stream, rather. I'm sure you could find an image of it out there on the internet somewhere. But, yeah, she's, it's strange. Her stats and deities and demigods give her a charisma of 11. And, I mean, from here down, she is, by Errol Otis's pen, a shapely woman who's always nude. And from here up, it's something that they throw out and don't serve you at Kobe Steakhouse, you know, when they sit around the table. Yeah, you sit around the table and they cut the thing. But anyway, so we'll talk some about that model soon and about the strange fish goddess and so on. I don't recall. I'll have to go back and check my notes. But unlike running into Loth, I don't think you can actually summon or journey to where Lady B is at. But I could be wrong. Greetings, quick save F5. But speaking of things, get out. Get out. No, you can stay. I've said worse. I've said far worse. My puns are equally atrocious. In the meantime, what are we talking about? Well, I'm doing that right now, aren't I, Luther? Mr. Impatient guy. But anyway, on a graphic. I'm only mad because I didn't think of it first. I was kind of hanging around the internet today, like I do. And I caught a little bit of was it? I know it was Nick Ricada, and I know Ty Beard was there, but there was somebody else. What is his name? Yellow Umbrella? I'm sorry, I'm butchering it. I don't. But anyway, they were talking about this nonsense with Johnny Depp and his ex-wife and how crazy she is, and Fred, no, not you, Fred. Stay. But no, I was watching that. That is about the craziest thing. And I just want to take a minute. I just want to get on a soapbox that's not gaming related, and it's not really related to that because, I mean, trying to talk about or do something about how those people lead their lives and how they interact with each other is, I mean, it's like saying I'm going to flap my arms and do something about storms on Jupiter. Like, you know, I'll make the great red spot go away. Okay, that is completely out of any sphere of influence. If you want to drop a link to your YouTube channel in the chat, Luther. What's that? You don't have one. I'm kidding you, man. I'm kidding you. But goddamn, that guy had it rough as a kid. You know, I mean that seriously. Holy crap. Anybody who said, well, is the guy. No, man. If a tenth of what he was saying in the preamble when Amber Heard's lawyers were examining him on the stand is true, yeah, no, it all makes sense. No wonder he didn't raise a hand in his defense. But to get to the core of what I'm saying, and it doesn't really have anything to do with Johnny Depp, it is this. I say this to my fellow guys. I know we've had some ladies in the chat before, but I just want to say this, and then we're going to talk about happier things. Guys, domestic violence can go both ways. All right. I just had a buddy of mine, and I've come to the end of a marriage, and at the end it got very toxic, and it was not good for him. It can go both ways. Don't think you have to sit there and take it because you're the man. All right. That's all I'm going to say about that. I just had to get that out there. If you're in a bad situation and you need help, seek out resources. There's damn few for us because too many people think that we should just sit there and take it. But let's move on. Back to happier things. So I think I mentioned this yesterday, and I'm going to go ahead and mention it now again so I don't forget. Warming up in the bullpen, we have John Popson of Effing Cool Minis. You guys should really check out Effing Cool Minis line. They do make some awesome figures, and I didn't think to bring the little guy over with me. I first ran into Effing Cool Minis at GaryCon in 2018. And when you fly like 1,500 miles to a convention, the amount of crap you can bring back is severely limited. Right? Yeah, it would have been nice to buy 4 sets of classic 1E books to bring home from used vendors, right? But not the vendors, used book vendors, and some Dragon magazines. But there's a point at which they're like, okay, we're going to start charging you now for the stuff you're bringing on the hand. Yeah, right on, Volcano. Yeah, don't you gotta limit the amount of stuff you bring from a con. Well, when I passed Effing Cool Minis table and I'm perusing their works, something caught my eye. Now, if you're like me, you're 6 feet tall and you're named Bill. But if you're like me, you also know that the 1978 Rankin Bass The Hobbit was formative, right? It was a thing, man. It was definitely part of our psyche, of what helped mold us as early nerds. We had Star Wars, we had Rankin Bass The Hobbit, all that good stuff. Star Trek reruns, Battlestar Galactica. But the Rankin Bass The Hobbit is just phenomenal. And as a one-off, Effing Cool Minis made a goblin from Rankin Bass's The Hobbit. You remember the big bowling ball looking goblins? The chins that were as wide as their shoulders, and the steer horns, and the axe blades that were as broad as they were across the shoulders. Random internet hijinks. I see naked ladies on this side. Yeah, maybe don't share that one at work. Well, he was kind of a one-off, and I gushed. I geeked out, and I apologized to John for pinning him down at the convention and just talking to him nonstop about how cool that was. And then they did a limited run. You could buy like a company of them. I think it was like 8 or 9 in a set. Same, Michael Connor. Same. Why I read the books too. Not everyone is as old as you and me. Some of these people were not yet born. Well, you can pull it up on the on the interwebs. You can stream it. Yeah, they do like the naked ladies over there at Effin' Cool. But to get back to the Hobbit stuff they were doing, so they did a run where you could buy, like you'd get a price break, but it was a limited number. I am made to understand, and we're gonna corner John and find out if this is still the case. They may be doing a run of the animated The Hobbit series minis, but everybody, Frodo, Gandalf, Bilbo, the dwarves, goblins, spiders, the whole 9 yards. I mean, how cool would that be? So we'll find out from John if that's still happening. We'll talk to him about what they've got going on at over at Effin' Cool. So I just got to set up a date and a time with him. And you know how it'll be. It'll be on a Wednesday or a Thursday. But it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun. He's the only mini sculptor that I've had on the show. I've been reaching out to a few different people who do that. That's their jam. But folks have, schedules are schedules. But I think it's a little easier now that I do stuff in the evening, because at the very worst, my show starts around the dinner hour. So somebody might have to, if they want to be on the show, they might say, okay, well, I'll come on for an hour and, I'm out on the West Coast and I can eat dinner later or whatever. Or if they're on the West Coast like me beforehand, they've got time to come in. When I was doing the show in the middle of the day, like a lot of times when I had guests, I was literally just like slicing out the middle of their day. Like we had Alan Hammock on a few times during the day, and he was very awesome to have him, but it was his lunchtime. I can eat dinner at any time. The cocktail hour, absolutely. You want to buy me a beer there, Volcano God? But so now that I'm doing it in the evening, I'm finding it's a little bit easier, which is why I get the cool guests that I do and the cool guests we've got coming up. And it's a little, like I said, it's a little bit easier. So I'm looking forward to it. John's a cool guy, and I really enjoyed talking to him last time. And tonight's little slip up aside, which was not my fault, by the way. Our internet going had nothing to do with me. So yeah, I think we're a little bit more technically professional around these parts. At least I am. Yeah. Todd, you met him. Yeah, he's a decent guy, very decent guy. I don't know if they still have the companies of Rankin Bass goblins. It'd be nice if they did. I haven't checked their website lately, but we don't want to chew all the fun out of it yet. We'll wait till he gets here. Oh, Volcano God, thank you. That's awesome. $4.99. That's a damn fine beer. And you get something off the import aisle at Total Wine. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. No problem. Going to be an interesting look at something. I mean, that's out of my wheelhouse, you know. But I mean, we've talked about a lot of interesting stuff here on the show that just didn't, you know, what wasn't immediately in my in really my area of awareness. Thank you, Ricky. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I really do. Thank you for the super chats tonight, guys. Both of you. That's fantastic. So, yeah. Looking forward to getting John on at some point, and others. But again, that's down the road. Now, how many times has this happened to you as a DM? How many times has this happened to you? Or if you've never DM'd a game and you're wondering if this kind of thing happens, the answer is yes. And I will bring that. I've kidded around that sometimes the A in AD&D stands for accounting, because we have those nights when we're just like, okay, Bob, you got 3,300 XP. All right, so 3,300 XP to you, John. You've got no. You by yourself fought a troll, so that's 3,300 for every. Plus, you get 527 for that. What's that, Bob? No, that's not with the 10% you get. You know, and super chat means our characters have to drink a beer in the dungeon, right? Super chat me and find out. See what I did there? See what I did there? Yes, the more you super chat me, the more the more your character can drink. I don't know. Anyway, so that's sometimes what the A in AD&D stands for, is accounting. Well, last night, .501 is next up. Last night, the D&D, the A still stood for advance. The D&D stood for debate and discussion. Now, listen, if any of my players are watching or listening to the show, first of all, I love you guys to death. They planned an assault with a capital P. We play for 3 hours and change on Monday nights. It is about high adventure, Volcano. It is about but they really planned. They planned and planned and planned and planned some more. Now, let me say this. What they were attacking I'm going to answer your question in just a minute, Doomsword. What they were attacking was not merely some hill giants and ogres. It was hill giants and ogres, and their leader is a beholder. Let me say that again. Their leader is a beholder. Their leader is a disintegration ray wielding, magic missile hurling, telekinetic rock throwing, anti-magic spewing, person charming, ray of enfeeblement blasting, and so on and etc. beholder. I'm not upset that they took a good chunk of the night to plan. Beholders are no screwing around. Was the beholder using one of the giant? No, they haven't encountered the beholder yet. They had great fun slaying ogres, and now they're fighting giants. We kind of left on a moment there. But to answer the question, who would win in a wrestling match, Lemmy or God? going to say that's one of those things like in physics when they say, hey, we've observed gravity waves for the first time. Well, how? Well, a quasar slammed into a neutron star. Like they were orbiting each other and then they collided, and the resultant explosion like caused distortions in space-time. That's what happens when there's a wrestling match between Lemmy and God. How does Beholder use a mount? Well, I don't know. But whatever it is, I'm sure it fits him to a T. I'll just let that sink in for a minute. On the one hand, I'm not very proud of that joke, but on the other hand, I am very proud of that joke. Trick question, Lemmy is God. I know, yeah. We did kind of kid around about that, though. So there's this... When I say late second edition and god-awful AD&D product, I mean, if I just say late second edition, the god-awful part should be attached. Do you like Huey Lewis, Michael Connor? I don't have that whole spiel from Christian Bale memorized, but if you know the one, you know the one. It was a little too new wavy for my taste, but it was here that they really came into their own. It was this track that solidified the band. And it's an important song. People don't listen to the lyrics, which is a shame, because they should, because it's not just a personal statement about the band, but leaving all that nonsense behind, going on to other nonsense. So the party spent a long time doing... Oh, I was telling you, there's this late 2E product called iTyrant. Because that's one of the names for a beholder, is an iTyrant, EYE tyrant. And the book is called I, Tyrant. Like I Libertine, or, whatever. And there's all these it ties together. Basically, if it's a round ball with multiple eyes, it's related to a beholder. Gas spores are grown by beholders to screw with adventurers, which I can actually see. I made your dad joke. I made it up. Anyway, but in iTyrant, there is, for some gosh darn reason, there's a thing the beholders can sit on, ride, drive, wear. I don't know what you would call it, but it's a suit of plate mail that has kind of a big, open, cup-shaped resting place that the beholder sits on and drives around and melees with. I'm not making that up. I wish I was making that up. Blam, blam. What? You never know until you try. Yeah, the little... Thank you, Volcano God. I appreciate that. Oh, let me tell you what. The beholders in D&D the movie. You want to get friend of the show, player in the Monday night game, and an all-around awesome lady. You want to get her angry? Bring up those friggin' beholders in the D&D movie. Oh, that makes her mad. It's beholders. Throw a rock. Huh? It's beholders. Throw a rock. Movie ends right there because it drifts up to the party, disintegrates a couple of them, charms a few more, and makes them attack other ones, nullifies the magic user's ability to cast spells with a central eye, and then the thief that's now running away in terror gets blasted with 11 magic missiles. That's how that encounter should have gone. the movie should have ended right there. The suit of armor with the beholder driving it like an open seat cockpit mech. I wish it was. But no, they released a Beholder book. So basically what they did in the Beholder book for 2E was, again, gas spores. We had gas spores being bred, created, whatever, cultivated, that's it, by beholders, which again is actually kind of a cool idea. And then they were like, well, spectators are related to beholders. I mean, the Eye of the Deep is related to beholders, right? Okay, all right. The Eye of the Deep. I mean, they're aquatic beholders. Sure, absolutely. What about floating eyes? The translucent fish that's just a giant eye. Yeah. I mean, I suppose so. What about spectators? Okay, it makes sense. They're chitinous. They have a few, they're not evil, though. Not zombie beholders. All right, hold up a second. What about zombie beholders that can still cast spells? Hang on a minute. What about Medusa beholders? Guys, this is awesome. Thank you so much. Or Corion counterspelled the super chat there that we had from Volcano God. 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a super chat war. No, I can't do that. You guys can do that. An underdark setting with a trench coat wearing beholder and an April dragon. I can believe it. I mean, the April Fool's ads were for stuff like that. It's just that when the older dragon got, the more people said, this is actually a good idea. We should add this to the game. And so you got beholders riding around on top of suits of armor. And it just got more and more and more and more ridiculous. So yeah, beholder, Eye of the Deep, spectator. That's really all we need. Gas spores. Beholder, Eye of the Deep, gas spores, spectators. There's your beholder family. Don't overcomplicate it. But somebody was sitting around bored. Luther, you bring up, I think, you bring up something I think is very important, and this is why this is kind of why I got irritated with the profligate number of humanoid monsters. This is the kind of fight I can enjoy. So we have goblins, hobgoblins, orcs, kobolds. One could make the argument that orcs are actually between goblins and hobgoblins. But we got kobolds. We have gnolls, bugbears. I think that's kind of where we top out, isn't it? When it comes to tribal humanoid monsters. Because then you start getting into, you could make the case that ogres are a step between the bugbear and the orc gnoll paradigm. But then after that, we're on to giants. Bigger creatures, smaller numbers. Well, when Fiend Folio came along, and it's not just Fiend Folio that's guilty of this. It's not just Fiend Folio that's guilty of it, but it's also. I mentioned. Did I not mention? I thought I mentioned Hobgoblins. Anyway, we started getting ridiculous. And I'm not laying this all on to. Before I forget, lizard men. I guess you got to throw lizard men in there. But lizard men are neutral. I kind of think they're neutral in the sense that like an alligator is neutral, not they're neutral in the sense that like a druid is neutral. Yes, I'll set your leg and I'll help you heal the broken bones. And when you're mended, you can help me plant some trees here in the grove. Lizard men are more like, I'm gonna eat you. It's not because I hate you. Just don't care about you either way. I'm just indifferent. But when we got over into the Fiend Folio, and again, I'm not even necessarily talking about terrible stuff from White Dwarf and UK writers. I mean, it was starting to seep in. We started getting so many creatures. It's like, what about Zvarts? You gotta have Zvarts, right? Well, I don't really, and Flynn's. Yeah, but you see, Nilbogs. I mean, those are really just goblins and it just goes on and on and on and on like that. What about bullywugs? What about Ophidians? Oh no, they were in Monster Manual 2. Actually, Ophidians are kind of cool. I'll let Ophidians go. What about lava children? What about... And really, it wasn't stuff that was bringing anything interesting. I mean, Flynn's. Well, they're like gnolls, but they're lions instead of... Or lions? No, tigers. They're tigers instead of hyenas. And, well, they have this cool crowbar, and they can knock a weapon out of your hand with it. Yeah, but couldn't we have just said that gnolls can do that? I mean... It's thinning the soup too much. It's thinning the soup. You ever have somebody say like, "Oh, I'm going to make you the best chili in the world"? And, oh yeah, that sounds great. And there's it's your standard chili, but there's also black beans, and there's also corn for some reason, and chunks of diced tomato, and purple onion, and bits of steak, and big green chunks of jalapeno. I've had chili where it was all that and okra, and it was just like, good Lord, this isn't chili, this is a casserole. And so I think, no, Githyanki don't count because, I mean, I'm talking about runty hordes of things, Githyanki and Githzerai are plenty cool. They're some of the few truly redeeming features of Fiend Folio. And this kind of the same thing, in my opinion. This is my 2 cents. The same thing started happening. I mean, I feel like so much of Monster Manual 2 is just filler. It's look, I've said this before, but in case you've never heard this, at the risk of losing viewers, I don't like Modrons. They're a level of ridiculousness that just, I mean, I get it. You need something truly alien that isn't just, well, I took this from Milton, or I took this from Tolkien. they're just too weird. And to kick Fiend Folio around a little bit more, the slod and all the puns about, oh, would you like a nice tasty green slod? And then I don't know. I sound like I'm just crapping on creativity, and I'm not. But I feel like Monster Manual 2 is, in my opinion, it's sort of a missed opportunity. Like, I wish we could have gotten a little bit more meat to some more of the extra planar stuff. And we kind of did. Like, you know, we got a time elemental. We got Gary's one-off Mary Sue, the Cat Lord. We got a little bit more look at Devils and Demons, which, I don't know, I guess the writers of second edition and even third edition hated them, because you go and you look up and like so many of them are now, it's like, yeah, whatever happened to Glayasa? Sorry, Corian. But yeah, you go up and you look at a lot of these things that Gary introduced, and maybe somebody could have had the same idea, because it's like, oh yeah, she was slain. Yeah, she died. Oh yeah, but what about this? No, she dead too. Oh, and these? No, they're all dead. But then that goes back into what I've said for a long time, that early post Gary second edition was, I feel that some writers kind of deleted on him a little bit on Gary's works, whether they were told to or they felt like they wanted to start tabula rasa. But I mean, it's, you know, you got that horrible Castle Greyhawk joke module, and for the patrons, I got a video coming real soon about what I think is the worst D&D module. But I'll tell you right now, and it's not about Castle Greyhawk, but I think just in terms of sheer, like, Mister, I don't like the cut of your jib. I don't think I care for your tone very much. It's Castle Greyhawk. I mean, the, you know, Star Trek parody level, Ronald McDonald Land parody level, and just on and on. Ever read about the creation of the Githyanki? Little-known British writer created them. Charles Stross, and he's not that. No, that's not that. No, James, I'm sorry. My Castle Greyhawk is my Castle Greyhawk. It's, yeah, I'm not running that module. So if you're frantically flipping through it, trying to find where are all these orcs coming from, well, they must be coming from the Ronald McDonald Land level, you know. No, I'm not using that module. Sorry. No, the Githyanki and Githzerai were from Charles Stross. Every good fantasy takes from Moorcock. I liked Michael Moorcock a lot when I was younger. And I'm not saying he's not talented. I want to go back and reread The Lord of the Rings as many times as I can before I pass away. I read The Chronicles of Corum, all 6 volumes of the Chronicles of Corum. I read the Elric Saga and some ancillary Elric stories a few times. And I just, last summer, I read, oh gosh, what was it? The Silver Warriors, which is a Moorcock story. And a year or so ago, I read the Ice Schooner. Was it the Ice Schooner or the Ice Ships? But it's a Moorcock story. It's kind of a Champion Eternal story. Moorcock's kind of gone back into that Stephen King retcon thing where he ties everything, like all the old stuff I wrote is all part of this multiverse. Even that one-off barbarian, like Conan-esque story I wrote. The Ice Ships, I think it's called the Ice Ships, has been shoehorned back into the Champion Eternal stories. The Ice Ships, at least, I mean, that I can knock that down in an afternoon. I don't know that I'll ever go back and read the Elric Sagas or Chronicles of Corum again. Which is not to say they're bad or even badly written. It just, they don't, you know. It's just depressing to me. Eternal Champion. Yeah, I mean, I know he set up the Eternal Champion and interwove things, but he's gone back and there's stuff that wasn't necessarily fit to those that he's fit to, like Conrad Arflane in the Ice Ships. He's now said, well, Conrad's one of the Champions Eternal. Which, good for him if he can make it work. But, it's like Stephen King going, and it's like everything ties into dairy. D-E-R-R-Y, not D-A-I-R-Y. Everything ties into dairy, so have a glass of milk. Oh, yes, I've read Howard's Conan. Yes, absolutely. Red Nails. The Belit of the Black Coast stories. Yes, very much. Very, very much. I like Conan quite a bit. They were on my list of books to read, and I have not gotten back around to the Thieves' World ones. What else can I say to make Lord Corion mad so he puts up a super chat to take back his previous super chat? You know what books I absolutely loved as a kid, and unfortunately the author passed away, was Lynn Abbey and Robert Asprin's Myth books. Those were so much fun when I was a kid. Illustrated, the Dawning Starblaze editions, which I wish I'd held on to, got rid of them like an idiot. But the Myth books by Robert Asprin were really, really, really a lot of fun. They kind of got, I think that they got a little heavy. Because the more the main character took on to him, Skeeve the apprentice, the more Skeeve took on to himself and the more he grew up, the less fun he seemed to have, but we'll never know what Bob Asprin wanted. He passed away. Yes, I'm aware. Of Asprin's contribution to Thieves' World. I have the Mayfair Thieves' World boxed game around here somewhere. Maybe I should do. Would you guys like a show on the Thieves' World box game one day if I still have it? Janet Morris. Now, I've read some Janet Morris books where she teamed up with military sci-fi guru David Drake for some of his stories. It's kind of an obscure one, but there's one you might want to check out that's called Kill Ratio. Kill Ratio is good. What is that a yes in response to, Luther? I'm not sure what you're yes-ing to. But if I still have a copy of Thieves' World somewhere around here, I'll dust it off. That's if. I don't know that I do. And it's not a role-playing game by any stretch of the imagination. It's like an urban dungeon, if that makes sense. Okay, there we go. Thieves' World on the show. So let it be written, so let it be done. We can definitely make that happen. But yeah, I like to bomb aspirin. Dark Sword, don't know it. Oh, Praxis. Oh no. So let it be written. I don't know. I can't do a good Yul Brynner. So let it be written, let it be done. That's about the best I can do. It's not good. Of what Tony Curtis said about Yul Brynner. Only Yul Brynner would dare to claim to be Yul Brynner. He was an interesting cat. Well, you should be. I think I've told you guys that my dear friend Eric, may he rest in peace, his dungeon master was Tracy Hickman. And as much as people might not like Dragonlance, all Eric ever talked about was Tracy Hickman being a real ball breaker of a DM. Like a DM's DM. Like, by the book, haha, your character gonna die and I don't care. Write your character on one of those wax sheets when you're a kid. You'd write on them and you get done and you just pull them up and erase and start over. That's what your 70-year-old mother called. Praxis, please. So Moses thinks he can take the Hebrewites away from me. Again, I can't really. Gary's on record is I mean, there we go. You know, I've heard it from someone who was in Tracy's gaming group. Gary said he was a great DM. I just think the Dragonlance modules are on rails. Just think they're on rails. But you know what's not on rails, guys? My games. I did okay, Jack. I mean, you know, I certainly appreciate it, guys. I really do. So I'll tell you guys this real quick, and then we'll thank our show supporters, and then we'll get into AD&D. Well, they're good maps. You know, I won't take that away. Those isometric Dragonlance maps are lovely. Anyway, I do have a business. I mean, I really appreciate the support for the show. But I also have my DMing business, which is coming along quite nicely. No, I don't think it was your walking away that did it. In fact, I would be willing to bet if you super chatted, I'm kidding. Again, You guys, I thank you so much for the super chats. But I had to file for my actual Florida business, my guidekey.com, which if you have a corporation or so, I really should talk to you guys more about GuideKey one night. I should infomercial you all one night about GuideKey. But if you have an organization that's looking for a team building event, and you want that team building event to be a professionally DM'd Dungeons and Dragons game, virtual or on site, that's what I do with my company, GuideKey. In the state of Florida, every year, to keep your business up to date and keep its records up to date, you have to have a filing. You have to go and file your business with the state of Florida. And it costs a set amount of money. And they're like, well, there's a late fee, but you can file it later. And I was like, oh, that's fine. Thank goodness. I'll just do that. I'll pay the late fee. How much is the late fee? $400. I'll just file that today. Let me just file. I'll just click just in the business now. Oh, whew. Good Lord. Yeah. It is guide-key.com. Let me... guidekey.com. We have... I have actually done this. This is not just a thing. I've done this for a few different organizations now. Our most recent client was Amazon. That's right. Amazon reached out and said, hey, we got families and engineers stuck in lockdown. Please run a D&D game for us. So I did that, and it was going to just be a couple of sessions run through White Plume Mountain, and they loved it. And so it stretched from late summer of last year, not this past year, but a year ago, back in August. So like 18, 19 months ago. And that's what I built the big White Plume Mountain thing for, so they would have something to gaze upon with the camera set up. And so yeah, the folks from Amazon absolutely loved it. And we had a very good relationship working together. So if that's something anyone else out there is interested in doing for your organization, just reach out to me. You get me on my email, bsylvie@gmail.com. DMing for Amazon. You guys can do more than stay in town delivery packages. Yeah. Well, when I say Amazon, this is Amazon AWS, their Amazon Web Services. So these were all programmers and not truck drivers. Although I would have, if it had been for people who basically live their lives in those warehouses and so on, I would have dug that too, right? So, all right. Well, we are now at the bottom of the hour. We're just about ready to get rolling here, but I want to take a minute to thank all this talk of finance, mind of money. I want to take a minute to thank everyone who, not just our super chatters here, not just our super chatters, but the folks who contribute to the show on a regular basis through both Patreon and Subscribestar. You can hit us up on Subscribestar, guys. So thank you to Joshua Garlock, Lord Corion, Ricky Maru, Mobius, Kevin Reynolds, Doomsword Deathmaster, Mark Simpson, Damien247. He does it every day, all day. James F. Keck, and everybody at the observatory there in Hawaii, William Smith, the Dungeon Minister, Manny Wall, Mark Corey, Kevin Wood, Todd Sharp, Carnivore Farmer, Rob Can't Say That Ulus, Jeremy Rule, Boganora, Mikey Mank, and Sky Hernstrom. That's right, Sky gonna be on the show tomorrow night. Hernstrom is a patron, and I couldn't be happier. Well, I mean, I could be happier, but about that, I don't think that really I can. No, I can't thank you guys enough. I guess is what I'm saying. So thank you all very much. So with those folks thanked, I now am going to bring on some folks who are not going to thank. They are going to lament. So I'm just going to move the studio lights around because we have some miniatures to see. And if you're new to the show, if you're a new subscriber and you don't know what we do on Tuesday nights, you're just like, oh, he plays Dungeons and Dragons. Is this like Critical Role? No. And also, no. But we have some lovely terrain and miniatures out there that we like to use, and we like everyone to be able to see. So pardon me while I adjust the lights a little bit. Mood lighting, yes. And get everything set up, and then we'll bring our players in, and you folks can watch all of this fun stuff go down. So I am now in the dark. And let's welcome our players into the arena. Good evening, gentlemen. Can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Excellent. So let's switch over to tabletop view. And there we go. Ah, a moth. No, I need you Friday. You're supposed to be the Blash in the almost a Fallout game, in the Gamma World game. So let's see here. Let me. Nope, that's not it. There we go. That's the one. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit there.
So we left off last time diving for cover.
Yeah, and Turgo got shot like 3 times.
Yep.
Right.
'Tis but a flesh wound.
Finally, Turgo got the open door, get damage.
Yeah. All right. That's about as zoomed in as I can get, but just to bring everyone up to speed, there is Turgo. There are orc archers. Here is the party in the central cistern area. Some arrows were shot, so we're going to go around the table, and we're going to take everybody's... let's see. Mark says, last time I was able to watch a game on the show. Oh, that was when Paul and I were playing Chainmail. Did I lose my zoom? Did that pop back out, guys? I'm sorry. Let's see. Camera control. It did. That may be about as zoomed in as we can get. Yeah. So I'll just leave that alone and won't touch that again. Okay. Okay, so what are Valor and Bejeebus doing?
Bejeebus, yes. I guess Valoric's going to pull out a Warhammer and get ready to do Spiritual Hammer.
Okay.
Bejeebus will, I guess, peek around the corner and take a shot at anybody he can see with his crossbow.
Okay. You'll have to see them with your eyes, not with your crossbow, but I understand. Ricky, what is Average doing?
Can I peek around the corner, fire, loose an arrow, and then roll back around?
It's going to depend on initiative. I mean, if you're leaning around to shoot an arrow, you can be shot back.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Okay. Mark, how about Genin?
Gene is going to take out his bow and start. He jumped to one side of the door. He's going to start going around the room so he can get some sort of shot.
Okay, and how about Lynx?
I'm gonna back up to the side of the door and get my sword ready for something to come through.
Alrighty, and Doom Sword, how about Turgo? I mean, I know he's doing his deep cosplay as a hat rack right now, but you dove to the side and are on the inside, and I actually have a mini out for every player.
Awesome.
Here's Turgo. There's the barrel, and observant fans of the show might notice there is some of what the kids are all calling scatter terrain these days there in the dungeon. So there actually is a barrel right where you guys had left it. And just in the shadows there, you see some orcs, probably the ones who are trying to turn you into one of those kung fu practice dummies.
Okay, so I'm actually in the doorway there, in the hall.
Yes, you said you jumped to the side of the doorway. So
Right. I intended to jump a different way, but what I'll do is I'd like to jump back out of there.
All right.
To avoid being shot and off to the side if possible.
Okay, so it's a jump to the left, or did you want to step to the right?
Yeah, I'd like to get so the arrows are coming from in front of me, right? So I'd like to get out of that doorway back into the round room.
Well, currently the arrows are coming from the front of you, but it sounds like there may be some arrows coming from behind you soon. Since you are he who is most likely to be turned into a decoupage hedgehog, why don't you go ahead and roll initiative, and we'll see what the orcs are going to do and when.
All righty. 1.
1 is the loneliest arrows that you'll ever take. All right. Here come 3 arrows. That is a miss. That is a miss. Oh, and that is a miss. You may now move. So you're going to fall back to the party?
Yeah, I'd like to fall back to the party and off to the right side of the doorway there.
Okay.
So just like 2 squares back and 1 square to the right or whatever.
Okay. So missile fire will actually go first. So those of you shooting may fire your arrows now or crossbow bolts.
Bajiba's got an 18.
That will hit.
3 points.
Okay, the orc bellows in pain, but you don't hear a resounding thud of him hitting the ground.
I got a 17 with one of my arrows. And
My goodness, that will hit.
6 points of damage.
That does. There's a gurgling scream followed by a thud on the end of that. Anyone else? Anyone at all?
Ranged, right?
Yes, we are in missile fire.
Yep, 18 hits.
All right, roll your damage.
6.
Okay. Yell of rage and pain, but you are. There is no thud following that one. Okay, Turgo moves here.
Correct.
A couple of black-fletched orc arrows sticking out of him. To the west, this door opens. This door opens. Oh, it's actually painted shut.
Oops.
There we go. That's a problem with the paint it yourself Dwarven Forge. The door opens, and let's see. Oh, that is a hit. That is a hit. That is a miss, but let's find out how much of a miss. Give me just a second here, guys. Okay. Two of your men at arms are screaming in pain. You hear Orcus shouting and jeering from behind you to the west. And the sounds of flasks of oil smashing. The entire room is now lit up by the pyres, as it were, of your two men at arms. They're still, well, okay. All right. Well, they're still alive, but they're enveloped in flames.
The men at arms, you mean?
Yes, the men at arms. The orcs are now going to take their second missile fire at those they can see. You are all now silhouetted quite nicely by flames behind you. That's a miss. And that is a hit. They are just kind of firing in, so we're going to go... that one will hit Lynx. Oh, for 5 points of damage.
Ow.
Okay, guys. We're in the new round.
Did Spiritual Hammer go off this round, or will it go off the next round?
Oh my gosh, I don't have my spell database open. How many segments is...
5 segments.
Then yes, Spiritual Hammer is active. You will strike with it in the next round.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I guess then we know what Valoric is going to do, but where is he going to do it? In front or behind?
Probably the newcomers. He'll turn around and hurl the hammer in their direction and start bashing with it. But
All right.
will take another shot in the other direction.
Okay.
I'll send my followers to plug the gap if they're still standing. The opposite side, where the new guys are coming from, and I'll fire another arrow, loose another arrow.
Okay. How about Jenan, Mark?
Yeah, you said 2 hirelings are almost dead. We've got 5, 3 from Jenan and 2 from Sir Average. Can just determine who's down.
Well, they're still screaming and on fire, so they're not down yet. We'll say
Evens or odds, pick them.
Yeah, exactly.
one of Average's and one of the other ones.
Okay, cool. So Jenan is ordering one of his hirelings to douse to get his other hireling on the ground, stop, drop, and roll. And Jenan is going to take out his swords and still against the wall, trying to make sure he's not in direct missile fire, but he's going to get some orcs when they show up.
Okay.
Towards the new people, the new door.
Can my follower put himself out? We're gonna.
I mean, he's going to take flame damage in this round. So
A peasant would be smart enough to stop, drop, and roll.
Yeah. They would, but it's what it is.
all right. All right. So how about Lynx?
So is anybody on the other side of the door the first door, not the new one? Is Turgo still on the other side?
No, Turgo has fallen back.
I'm going to close that door.
Fair enough. So you're going to lean in and drag that door shut. Turgo, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna train my bow on the western opening and take a shot at the first orc that decides to pass through.
Alrighty then. Mark will go back to the top of the rotation. Give us an initiative roll, please.
2.
It is tied. Missile fire goes first. There are more flasks of oil being thrown. We'll do the arrow shots.
Bejeebus gets a 15.
That 15 will hit. The 2 orc arrows flying out of the darkness do not.
20 points.
4
3
from
points
me.
from Bejeebus.
Okay, you drop one of the 2 remaining orcs in the archery band up front. Was someone shooting into the western room, into the surprise flaming oil room?
I was, and I missed.
Okay. All right. Well, one of the orcs throws a flask and hits. And another man-at-arms is on fire. He takes 8 points of damage, chars, and dies. The other 2 men-at-arms, one of them succumbs to his wounds and dies, and the other is miraculously still alive, but, to quote Will Ferrell, very badly burned. All right, you may shut the door now.
Awesome. I'll shut that door.
Okay.
Can I jam it at all? With I have an iron spike.
You can do that in the next round. You're shutting in this round. Okay, the door is shut.
The way is blocked.
The way is shut. They cannot get out. Okay. So let's go around the table. Valoric and Bejeebus, what are you up to?
Valoric's spiritual hammer was supposed to go off that round, I thought.
Oh, that's right. You're drubbing on some people. I'm sorry. That's right. There are some missile fires too. My apologies.
Okay. He gets a 14 with it.
That will thump.
Good.
Because it counts as a +1 weapon.
Oh, excellent. Let's see. What was the damage? 1 to 6.
Let's see. Actually, you know what? I'm not sure. I think it counts as a magic weapon. For terms, like, I want to hit an undead creature. It's only hit by magic weapons. Spiritual hammer counts, but let's see.
1 to 6 versus opponents man size or smaller. 1 to 4 against larger. So.
All right, let's just look that up real quick. Yes, so it's only magical in terms of hitting things that need to be hit by magical weapons. So go ahead and you rolled a 13, you said?
Yeah.
All right. 13 from a cleric 5, right? Or 4?
Third, actually.
Third. Oh, my goodness. I'm sorry. Sometimes the Monday night game blurs a little over. Don't worry. You guys will get there. My Monday night group will show up to the Tuesday night groups hanging out in the bunkhouse and be like, hey, get out of our bunkhouse. And your party's going to be like, make us. And then I'll do that raccoon meme where I just sit there and rub my paws together and grin evilly while you fight each other. All right, so a 13 will not hit, I don't think. Actually, any other missile fire? Any other missile fire at all, guys?
I did fire and I missed.
Okay.
End of round fire, right?
Yes.
An 11 doesn't hit, does it?
No, sir, it does not.
Yeah.
And your 13 for Bejeebus actually did hit, or Valoric rather. So
Okay.
go ahead and roll that.
I got a 5.
All right. That orc is he's pointing and laughing and saying, "Ha ha! You can't oof." You just gotta put that glowing silver hammer right in his solar plexus. Ow! That hurt.
Can my follower stab this turn?
You want your followers to rush into the room full of orcs and stab?
Well, there was one that I thought had already moved that way because he has a spear. Can he reach?
They hadn't, but they will go that way. You've got a couple of them are down. One of them is extremely badly injured, and one of the more than one of them is extremely badly injured. But yeah, a couple that have spears, if you order them into the fray, will move across and fight.
Well, if they haven't already moved, then no.
Oh, okay. Alrighty. So next round, is that everybody in the party? I don't want to step over anyone.
I believe so.
Okay. So we'll go around the table. Valoric and Bejeebus, what do?
Another swat with a spiritual hammer and another crossbow bolt.
Okay. Let's see. Ricky, Sir Average.
Another arrow, and I guess one follower will bandage the other.
Okay. Mark, how about Genin?
So Genin has his sword and dagger out. He'll probably be on one side of that western door, and his remaining follower, his remaining hireling, is on the other side, waiting for any orc to show their head, and we'll take it off.
Okay. Lord Corion, how about Lynx? He's driving a spike in that door, correct? Okay. How about Turgo?
Arrows to the west.
Okay. Mark, roll initiative for us, please.
Says he got a 3.
You got a 3. Party will go first. Missile fire goes first. Please loose those arrows.
17 for Bejeebus.
That is going to hit.
Only 1 point of damage.
That is not going to do much.
Miss.
Okay. Couple of men-at-arms. Let's see. Oof. Okay, one more man-at-arms is down due to flames, but the other one, despite being badly hurt, manages to slap out the remainder of the flames before he takes more damage. So you have 3 men-at-arms down, and I mean very badly burned, a couple badly burned that are still up, and I think that leaves 1 that is uninjured as yet.
Mm-hmm.
The orcs are not coming out. In fact, I'm only removing the door just for clarity's sake. These orcs are hurling spears. It's 3.
And they got war drums, apparently.
I was using the big D20. Not the metal one, though. That thing will wreck anything it hits. I mean, if I screw up and drop that on a phone or on a piece of Dwarven Forge, it's broken. So, but anyway, that spear was actually a hit, and that was, let's see, 1, 2, 3. You're behind the door. 4. Ooh, okay. Ricky takes Average takes a spear for 5 points of damage.
A spleen.
You don't need that anyway.
I mean, it's pinned to the wall behind you. How important could it have been? Okay. So, what are you guys doing in the new round?
Still got a spiritual hammer to roll for here.
Oh, yes. That's a melee thing. You can do that in melee.
Yeah, but it's a spell distance, isn't it?
I always had it going in melee, but it's do your thing, man. Do your thing.
Okay, got a 13 on that one.
Yeah, that's damage.
5 more points.
Same orc.
Sure.
Yeah, you pulp his head.
Sweet.
And I've got a second arrow.
All right.
And that one hits AC 6.
All right. Roll your damage.
4 points of damage.
Okay, that's enough to take that orc down. So 2 of the 6 orcs. Two of the 6 orcs have fallen. Some of you speak enough orc to pick up on what they're saying, and they're yelling, "Hey! Why isn't the other door opening?" Apparently, they're a little concerned about their ambush not going off precisely to plan. Next round, Valoric and Bejibus.
Last round with the spiritual hammer and 1 more crossbow bolt.
Okay. Average?
You said there was 1 follower left. Who is it?
Mine.
Probably. Yeah, it's one of Genan's.
Okay. Then I guess that's just me. So I'm just gonna keep, because I can't move, draw my sword, and murder an orc, can I?
No, you can't. I mean, no, because basically the bulk of the party and some bodies are in your way, so you can't charge with a capital C either.
Yeah, so I may as well just get stuck in and keep using my bow.
Okay, Genan?
Genan's going to do a foolhardy thing. He's going to run around that corner and start hitting orcs with a sword.
Okay.
But if he can, he's going to get around that corner and then get out of the doorway.
No, I know what you're saying. That distance, it will put you into melee, and you will still be able to attack in this round. It's close enough. Let me see. So we have man-at-arms down, man-at-arms down, man-at-arms.
It's your killer armor class. That should be great.
I hope so. Genan was basically on one side of the door, and Alice, the remaining hireling, was on the other side.
Okay. Well, I don't have an Alice handy, so I'll be Alice for now.
God knows she has plenty to throw back.
Okay. So how about Lynx?
If the door is secure and I don't need to put more spikes in it, I'm going to draw my bow.
You've heard footfalls approaching it, and there are thuds on the door, but for the moment, you think it's going to hold. You think.
Yeah, all right. Let's draw my bow. Okay.
All right. How about Turgo?
I'll fire arrows.
Alrighty. Let's go ahead and roll initiative. How about Lord Coriani? I don't think you've rolled in.
4.
Okay, party will go first. Movement. Genan. Were you ordering your girl Friday into the room too?
Yeah, I'll order Alice in.
Okay. Alice hasn't lived this long and not picked up on tactical nuance, so she too, rolls inside the door, and with her spear reach can also attack So let's have some missile fire then. I really should have done that first, but
Bejeebus hits for 4 points.
wow. Okay.
It's a mess.
All right.
Armor class 10 don't hit anything.
I miss.
Okay. Then movement. Now melee, including spiritual hammer, if you have it for another round.
Yep. Last swing. It's a 15. I'm assuming that's a hit
That will hit.
for 1 whole point of damage.
Okay. Ding. Oh. Wow. I got to say, I'm really impressed. You're taking it to these orcs.
Keenan hit for 4 points of damage on one orc, and
Okay.
Alice hit for 2 points of damage on an orc.
Okay. The orcs are still up, but they're injured, and they were not expecting that. Any more? Well, no, that's missile fire. So Alice is taking 1 attack. Or, well, actually, Alice is taking a scimitar and a spear. You're taking 2 spears. That is a miss on Alice. That is a miss on Alice. I'm going to stop using the thunder die. That is a miss on Jeanin. And that is a hit on Jeanin. And that is 4 points of damage to Jeanin. So things have finally broken y'all's way. Okay, any more missile fire?
Yeah. Hey, finally. A 16 hits
Okay.
For round
And-
2 or 1.
and 6 damage.
I'm sorry, what was that question, Corian?
Is this end of round missile fire?
Yes, this is end of round missile fire.
Okay.
No, I miss.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, and good news for Average. You do not prang one of your party members in that swirling morass in the room, but in fact, stick an orc. How much damage was it?
6.
That will end the orc. Okay, 3 orcs left. They are clashing their weapons on their shields and staying in the fight. Really, really top-notch morale roll. The door is being battered on and is dragged in a couple of inches, and you can now see orky hands and iron bars behind it. You're not sure how much longer your pythons are going to hold that door shut. Oh, thank you, Dungeon Minister. Yes, the fog of war felt is a must. It really is when using terrain, and that's free advice there. If for anyone, whether you're using Dwarven Forge, your own homebrew stuff, 3D printed, whatever, you gotta cut the squares of felt. Otherwise, you're having to set minis down, and the players know all about the layout of the dungeon beforehand. It really does make all the difference. I would love it if you guys could see all the scatter terrain and furnishings that I have set out. Maybe we'll get to see that tonight. For the time being, it's a big here be dragons moment. So, back to the table. Let's go around the bend. What are Valoric and Bejeebus doing?
Valoric's going to pull out a flask of oil and turn around to the other door and pour it under the door.
Ah, clever fellow. How about Average?
Can I switch to my sword and throw a spear?
No.
Just straight drop my bow and grab a spear?
I mean, you can drop your bow and pick up a spear, absolutely.
Just to hurl across the room?
Yeah. You said, can I switch to sword and throw a spear? And I was a little confused.
Well, can I draw my sword while throwing the spear was the question.
Oh, yeah, no, you can't.
Okay. Well, also I'll do the first half of that then. drop my bow, grab a spear, and chuck it.
Unfortunately, the play action pass option has not been perfected for dungeon crawling yet. Mark, what is Gina doing?
Still more slashy. Both him and
All
Alice.
right. So you're over there writing slash fics about the orc. Gotcha. Lord Corion, how about Lynx?
I think I'm going to take one last shot with the bow this round.
Okay, and Turgo.
Missile fire.
Okay, who hasn't gotten a chance to roll initiative yet? I think you all have. Look.
I'll roll. I haven't rolled yet.
All right, go for it.
4.
The orcs go first. The orcs go stabbing 2 by 2. Hoorah, hoorah. That couldn't miss any harder if I gave it penalties. That's better, but that still ain't going to get it. And that is 1 on Alice. Ew, that's good stab. Alice takes 2 points of damage. Missile fire.
Hey, I hit.
Woohoo!
I hit as well.
What a bejeebus.
Good lord.
4 points.
Does the spear count as a missile?
Yes, it does. Always.
Unless I'm adding my strength, no.
Okay, and you are not. Okay,
Yeah,
but
1 point of damage.
okay, well, every little bit helps. Next up.
Did you get my 4?
Oh, yes, I did.
Okay.
All right, and pouring out the oil is basically taking you around. There's shouts of concern from the other side of the door, and you hear feet running away.
Okay.
I'm sorry. What's a short bow damage? I can't seem to find it.
Oh, arrow damage is arrow damage. It's D6.
Oh, arrow. There we are.
Yeah.
4 damage.
All right, that's going to take him down.
Pouring over a chart looking for short bow.
Hey, I do it too sometimes, man. Don't beat yourself up. That's my job. All right, so that ends first round missile fire. You guys, did you guys win initiative? Yeah, you did. All right. Or no, you didn't. But so any further missile fire? Because the orcs missed.
A second round.
Yeah.
I missed.
Okay.
I deal another 3.
Hey, leave an orc for me to hit.
I'm finally hitting something.
Well, that orc is still up, but so there's 1 for Alice and 1 for Jeanin.
Okay, let me see what
Well, that's
they do.
something for you.
Well, both Jeanin and Alice hit, so we've got Alice does 2 points on her, and Jeanin does 7 points on his.
Jeanin slays his target. Alice is taking this one apart 1 hit at a time. Okay. And by the way, anyone who's picking up the sound of these awful, awful chairs that I'm sitting on, yeah, there's not like a ship at sea sound effect in the background. You're hearing the chairs creaking because they're old and busted. All right.
That's the timbers holding the stones of Castle Greyhawk above us.
I love it. Yes. Okay, so 1 orc remains. The concern on his face is great. I know what he's doing in the next round. Let me get the telltale from the party going around. Valoric, what is Valoric doing?
He's going to light the oil, and Bejeebus will draw his sword and prepare for anybody coming through the door.
Aver Odge.
I'll draw my greatsword.
Jeanin. Well, it's okay.
Jeanin and Alice will hopefully dispose of this 1 orc.
All right. Lynx Turgo.
I'm swapping back to sword, readying for the orcs coming through.
Okay.
I'll move to the other side of the room, or at least back a little, and aim towards the eastern door.
Okay. Then Ricky, go ahead and roll initiative for us, please.
Six.
Ricky did roll that number. All right. Missile fire. Luther Pendragon must not be in the audience. I haven't had anybody bitching about my singing all night. He must have gone. He knew it was going to happen. He didn't want to be here for it. That hurts my heart.
Are you a Uriah Heep fan, Bill?
A little bit. I mean, I wouldn't call myself a fan, but if somebody puts on Abominog or something, I'm like, yeah, okay.
Same.
He was the dungeon master of 1,000 kings.
Love it. Love it. I mean, I would have to say from that era, from the from that kind of jam, probably a little bit more of I don't know. I don't want to get bogged down. Maiden, Yeah, I think that's kind of a standard response. Maiden, early Sabbath, Rainbow. Yeah, you gotta love Rainbow, right?
Yeah, Zeppelin's great too.
Of course, Zeppelin. If there were some world that existed where record companies would realize I wasn't like trying to rip them off, pretty much the soundtrack to my streamed games would be Led Zeppelin music.
That'd be 80% of streamed Dungeons and Dragons games.
I would hope so.
The world would be better.
Proper streamed Dungeons and Dragons games. I don't know what they play on Critical Role, and I don't want to know, quite frankly. But yeah, it'd be Led Zeppelin. But anyway, I'd buy a Led Zeppelin soundboard. Yeah, you can just play little snippets of Led Zeppelin songs, but you got to pay like a yearly upkeep fee. I would do it. Okay. Hello, Mark Corey. Greetings to Mark Corey joining us in the audience. Mark's in my Monday night game. Good to see you. All right. We are in a new round. You guys won initiative missile fire. Was there some missile fire, and did it miss or did it hit?
I'm not firing until somebody comes through that door.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think it's just Gene and Alice trying to hit an orc.
Okay. Well, you guys won initiative, so you may do your thing.
Does a 12 from Alice hit the orc?
No.
Then Gene did hit with his broadsword for a total of 8 points of damage.
Wow. So I rolled his morale, and he was not going to run. I rolled a 99.
He should have run.
Even with all the bonuses, or all the negatives, rather, the penalties, he would have stayed in the fight, much to his detriment. You rip him from groin to Adam's apple, and he falls dead on the floor. The oil is now alight, flames licking at the bottom of the door. You can hear the orcs beyond it shouting, buckets, get the wet bolsters, you maggots. So what do you guys wish to do? And let's see if anything comes looking to see what all that ruckus you raised was about. Sadly, no.
You sure it's not a giant?
Well, I wasn't going to do that, but now that you bring it up, I got this cool miniature over here, and let me just... No giants. You should be silent, because they might be giants, and what are you going to do unless they are? Okay.
All right. Well, they're trying to come through that door. We can set up to wait for them.
Mm-hmm.
We want to
Get
set
into
up in that
position.
far room where we just slayed all the orcs.
I could. I got my torch out. We could leave our torches out here, make it look like we ran up the rope. See if we can't get the drop on them.
It's probably your best bet, frankly. I have 6 flasks of oil. So can we just lay them out as a trap for when they run in and somebody just light them up like a Christmas tree?
Potentially. But if that's what you're going to do, you need to tell me you're committing to that, because the orcs are not leisurely strolling back to wherever
I'm asking
they're.
the party. Is that a good idea?
Ah, okay. Thought you were asking the DM.
Do it.
Do it. Do one of y'all want to help me?
Valoric's going to be doing some healing on some folks that need it. Primarily Turgo.
What? Yeah.
The pin cushion.
Yeah.
Remember, you can save those arrows.
Yeah.
Get them through revenge.
Master would not approve of me bleeding to death in the dungeon.
I pull him out and put him in his quiver as I take him.
Can Lynx give me a hand?
Oh, look, that's still got meat on it.
What are we
Yank.
doing though? We're
Just pouring out
piling the
oil.
oil.
Pouring out oil.
All right, yeah, let's pour out all the oil.
All right.
Okay. Are any of the men-at-arms left alive besides Alice?
Yes, there are a couple who are badly injured. There are 3 who are down and not moving or breathing. And given how horrible they look, you think it may be a mercy.
Okay. I probably won't waste
It's like
any
meat's
healing
back
spells
on the menu, boys.
I won't waste any spells on the menu or the men-at-arms unless they're really, really, really bad. But I'll heal up Turgo and anybody else who needs it after we get them in the other room.
Okay, well, one of the men-at-arms is really, really, really bad.
Okay, he'll heal him too then.
Okay, so you guys are all pulling back. Now, valued viewers and players, of course, you know that I've said in the past, hey, I'm just going to do a guide on. In this case, because there's a breath, there's a moment, I will move all the miniatures into the previous room. For exploration purposes, I would not do that. But for tactical purposes, in this instance, I shall, because I think it's important to get from you guys where you're going to be in that room. So, allow me to do that.
Yeah, and I would say somebody needs to watch that cave entrance behind us as we get in there too. Watch out for kobolds.
Okay, so you do spend a few rounds pulling back. So explain to me, are you pouring oil on the floor? Is that what you're doing?
So we
Or
can,
setting the flasks out to try and break them with missile fire?
pour them out.
Okay.
We'll pour 4 out and then leave 2 to shatter from the heat.
Okay. All right.
And
We're
is
I'll
just
do
that-
items.
Is that doable in that time?
I'm going to say you guys can definitely fall back into the room and at the very least start pouring the oil. The door has been weakened by the fire. I mean, that's something that Average would just know, being a dwarf and not stupid.
Lynx is
So
helping, if
they-
that helps.
They may get through that door pretty quick, but it's pretty hazy on your time, but you can definitely fall back into the room and start pouring the oil.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm helping with the oil as well.
Okay. As you are pouring out and laying down the flasks, the door is being bashed on, and you can hear creaking and splintering of the wood. So the orcs will be through at the end of this round. In the interim, let me check something real quick. So Valoric was going to be casting Cure Light Wounds, yes?
Yes.
Let's see here. let me get back to where that is. Okay, so that's just 5 segments. So you can throw as many of those between the time that the party is dragging those in and healing up your 2-minute arms that are still on their feet. And Turgo.
Turgo. Was anyone
Yeah.
else injured that needed any healing right now?
Or
No.
Average. Average did take a couple of shots too, as I recall.
Not too bad. Okay. Okay.
All right.
I got 7 points for Turgo and 5 points for the man at arms that was injured
Okay.
severely.
Okay.
How bad was the other one? Was he pretty bad too, or?
Alice wasn't hurt too bad.
Okay.
Well, there was one more that was moderately injured. So how many?
I guess I'll go ahead and do that on him too.
Okay.
He gets 3.
Okay. Well, it'll keep him in the fight.
Okay. I've got 1 spell left, 1 cure light wounds left.
Okay. Nothing comes to the cave. The door on the far side is smashed open. You guys are ready for it. They're not surprised to see you there. Let's go ahead and roll initiative to see who does what here, guys. And I think we were over to Ricky, go ahead and roll initiative. Oof.
5.
Okay, and you're aiming the old arrows with flaming fletches on them at the oil, correct?
Can we? So we were pouring, right? That was last turn, and this is the next turn, right?
That is correct. You have fallen out of the cistern chamber.
I'm going to throw 1 last flask of oil,
Okay.
and that's it for me because I have to get it out and throw. If I could throw 2, I'd throw 2, but I think I can only throw 1.
All right.
I'm not lighting them.
Right. So you're just
Throw. Just trying to get surface area.
no. I've got you. I was just a little confused. So you lob your oil. You guys have the initiative, so you're able to lob your oil and such. And there are orcs visible when the door is broken open. There are, the standard 2 high, 1 low with spears. They kind of thrust out and are looking around, and they see, you're creating fire, and they're pointing and yelling and so on. And then you throw 1. You're throwing it into the room, but not at those orcs, correct?
There shouldn't be fire yet.
Right. Just okay.
Oil right now. No fire yet.
He's not trying to start the fire yet until they come out of there and get in the fire, I think.
Oh, I see.
All
Okay. All right.
Is me throwing ceramic pots. If they put 2 and 2 together, fine. But they're supposed to be stupid, so let's see how stupid they are.
Well,
Great.
they're not moronic. I mean, you guys have been pretty profligate with the use of burning oil, and they're
To be
They gotta
fair, the
charge
door's
light.
probably burning too, but
Mm-hmm.
And the dude's on the ground.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
There's a lot of smoke in this room.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have the opening up above, and it's basically drawing air out of the dungeon.
Enough.
Okay, so the orcs don't really see you, other than they can tell you've got oil. One of the orcs yells back. The orcish word for fire, he just yells back, "Gosh!" And you hear some shuffling around and so on going in that tunnel. Let's see. So This 3, let's see. Oh no! You can tell there are, there are orcs behind them. You can see like their bodies lurching forward, and hands like shoving on their shoulders, trying to push them into the room. They aren't budging. The orcs across the hallway are not coming out into the cistern room. There is yelling. You can see hands like slapping them on the head. But they're not following that order.
Good, just in time for my fire arrow.
All right.
Now what we have to do is wait.
Can Bejeebus take a shot at one of them in the doorway?
Absolutely, Bejeebus can take a shot.
12.
Well, can I light? Because Sir Average was throwing the oil, but I was lighting the oil, I thought.
Sure. You don't really have to roll to hit. Let's see.
Okay.
Let's roll a save and throw. That is insufficient. The oil does not save against fire. It all catches alight where the bodies of your comrades are lying, unless you dragged those back too. Goes up in a great conflagration. Let's see. The oil burns hot. Those of you nearest to the door, like the heat from the flames is kind of like pushing you back. No. And that might make it. One of the flasks bursts open. Let's see. Ah, yes. Thank you, Adobe Acrobat, once again for not failing to disappoint me. All right, so I will say that number is low enough that it probably... Oh, no, now, of course, there, it's working again. It heard me getting dismissive of it. Let's see. All right. Okay, so the floor is alight. Another flask of oil bursts open. There's a great conflagration. The orcs are not running out into it, but they are completely cut off from seeing you guys. And what was the decision? You guys did not drag your followers' bodies out of the way? I just wanted to be sure on that.
If we had time, I'm sure we would have dragged them out of the
Gina
middle
would
of
have
the room
taken
at the
it.
very least.
Gina would have
Okay.
taken care of his.
I was pouring
All right.
oil.
Bejeebus crossbow hits on a 12 for armor class 7 or 8.
Yeah, with the flames and smoke and everything, you can't really get a good shot off.
Okay.
Well, actually, the flame arrow and this arrow, it's still not sufficient with range and so forth. So you've gotten the bodies of your fallen out of the way. There's a sheet of flame. Another flask bursts, adding to the conflagration. The orcs seem content to wait this out. What are you guys doing? You're going to have how many flasks of oil did you put down?
3.
3. So
I can just start throwing oil into the opposite doorway.
Yeah.
It'll catch on fire.
Time for the
You-
permanent flamethrower.
Mm-hmm.
You guesstimate the oil out on the floor. You've got a little less than a turn of burnination. You're gonna try and hit the far door with pots of oil. Is that what you guys said?
That's what I'm doing.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a roll. You can't really see where these are going, I should point out, but
18 plus math, and am I rolling d6 for damage?
no. Hang on a minute, please.
I just grabbed my d6 on reflex. I realized that. I just rolled them together.
So what? Let me see here. Okay, with range, you are able to toss that into the door. You hear a crash and a foosh. You don't hear any screams or anything like that. You can go ahead and roll damage, though.
Is it a d6?
It is 2d6.
Ooh, 2d6.
Yes.
3 and 4 is 7.
Okay. Something on the far side of the fire is now on fire and burning. Anyone else at all? You do not see any orcs. The heat has completely scuppered infravision for those of you who have it.
Geenan, if he has the chance, will just take some shots directly. He knows where the door is effectively, so he's going to shoot his bow directly across. See if he hits anything.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'll be doing this round too.
Okay.
One of the rolls was an 18. That might have hit something. Not sure. Probably with cover, etc. Maybe not, but
Yeah, you hear kind of a thunk on the far end, but the crackle of the flames and such. And are you guys still heaving oil into the conflagration in the middle?
I think it was just Sir Average.
Okay. Okay, go ahead and do any additional missile fire that you've got.
Miss.
Okay.
Throwing oil doesn't count. Right?
Doesn't count in what way?
As missile fire?
Yes, no, it's absolutely missile fire.
Oh, shit. I always treated it like a normal attack.
Nope.
Not missile fire. Wow. Bugger me. Does a 16 hit?
It'll hit something, you think.
4 plus 2 is 6.
Okay, you hear a crash of it on stone, and there's more fire being fed. Guys, bear with me just a minute here. Adobe has completely crapped the bed, and I'm sorry. That's where my rule books are.
Do you guys think if we keep walking the oil back, we'll eventually set them on fire? That's kind of my goal.
By throwing them through the hole in the door.
Pretty much, yeah.
This is just flamethrower cornhole at this point.
It's like a creeping barrage from World War One, right?
But you can't see it. But we don't have the full height that a barrage does. So
yeah,
you basically have to hit a hole.
Yeah. That's
that
the
you
sad
can't
part.
see because of the smoke, because of all the oil that's on fire right now. So
Pardon me, guys. I'm going to get a print book. Hang on.
It'll
No
burn through the
worries.
door eventually.
Well, our choices are: do we move up and leave, or do we move up and try and take the hallway?
we can't move out because that cistern is on fire.
Well, the door's on fire, probably.
you-
the whole
you-
cistern isn't anymore.
Well,
That's
Bill was
gone.
saying that there's like one turn of burn or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we can wait for it to burn down, or we can explore this room and try and run.
No,
Hope the orcs look somewhere else.
I think we should do with these orcs.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think we as soon as we can, we try and rush forward and take that hallway.
Yeah.
If we can, I'll run up with Sir Average, and you can start tossing oil through the door, and I'll light it on fire. I got plenty of torches and arrows, so.
Yes, but how much more oil do you guys have?
I have one more.
Valor and Bejeebus have 6 each.
Oh,
Okay.
good. I was going to say one more is not an artillery barrage.
I just burned 5. Like, hello.
Yeah, one more is final defensive fire, turn and run.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'll be getting up there with my greatsword.
Well, it's okay.
I'm gonna start calling it a war sword just for you, Bill. Just to stop that joke.
You can't stop my jokes so easily.
I would just refer to it as a pretty good sword at all times. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay. So those of you in the, those of you standing in the chamber, you are, you're danger ready. There's something cracking and scratching and sort of scrabbling on the ceiling above you in this chamber. You don't know if it's because the roof, the wall had collapsed in and this is geologically unstable or what, but there is something amiss above.
How much longer before the room, the cistern room, is not on fire?
If you haven't thrown any oil in the last 2 rounds, it's guttering out now. And the door on the far side is charred. There's a couple of planks missing. You see the stubs of arrows still kind of alight with, just like a little wick effect. But the door is shut, and probably was shut for your bombardment. You don't know if any of your oil got through. But what are you doing in the chamber, everyone?
Oh, perfect. We just aim at the door, wait for it to burn out, and leave.
Well, I don't like the sound of whatever's going on in this chamber, so we should probably get back into the cistern.
Yeah.
If it's not on
All
fire.
right. It's not. The floor is smoking hot. The usual pools of water and so on are completely gone now, all scorched away.
I will say there is one positive here, though. They can't keep barring that door against us anymore.
No, we're going to come back and it's going to be iron.
Yeah, right. They're gonna put a table up instead.
Or just a new door entirely,
Just
go get door.
Masonry and a sign that says, please, no more.
Yeah.
We should go get out of this room. I'm not sure if that ceiling's going to hold or it's coming down with us.
Yeah,
Valor and Bejeebus, what are you doing?
Moving into the cistern, getting ready. I guess Valor's going to get another flask of oil ready. Bejeebus.
Average, what are you doing?
Moving to the cistern, draw my sword.
All right. Jenan is moving into the room. Mark, what about Alice?
Same for Alice. Gene still has his bow out. He'll take a shot through the door if there's some motion.
Okay. Lynx and Turgo.
Moving out, bow at the ready.
All right. Doomsword, roll initiative, please.
Ugh, that's a 1.
Okay. You all start to walk out, and let's see. Oh, my. All right. 1. Links. I'm sorry. Genin, Lynx, Turgo, and Valoric. Something heavy falls from the ceiling. Valoric, you are struck. I'll come back to you with your damage. Genin. Oh, you are struck. Lynx is not struck. Turgo is not struck. Stalactites fall from the ceiling and impale you. And those of you that are struck, in addition to being in a great amount of pain, are horrified because the broad ends of the stalactites grow eye stalks which look at you. And they have a slimy mantle that is sort of undulating. So let's see. Fortunately, they're not big.
The only time piercers are a threat.
I got mine a couple of sessions ago. Like somebody super chatted them on me or something.
All right. That's not bad. So Valoric takes 3 points of damage. That is 4 points of damage for Genin. The others smack into the floor. So yeah, you've got like these foot-long stalactites. They're very heavy that have stabbed you, and they're now kind of extending out feelers and maybe a little bit of digestive juice. Yes, the piercers are literally salivating at the idea, thinking in their dim little intellects, yeah, but if we pull this off, we're going to eat like kings. The good news is you can remove them. Just take them out of you and throw them to the floor, unless you wish to actually attack them.
Valoric's going to grab his and throw it across the room toward that burnt door.
All right. Throw the danger ice cream at the greenskins. I gotcha. How about Genin?
That's a brilliant idea. Genin will also use it as an improvised missile weapon.
Thud, thud. The piercers kind of drunkenly sort of right themselves, which makes them from stalactites into stalagmites, and begin to slowly try and scooch up the walls. You're not sure because piercers are not intelligent. They're just insects in conical dry land coral like extruded bodies, but you hear them go out, hot, 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 out, 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 hot, 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 as they scuttle across the wall and up the sheer surface. Okay, what do adventurers?
Well, if the piercers are shellfish, we should get some butter. Otherwise, I think we should get out of here.
Would anybody be pissed at me hewing that door?
That's what we need to do. I'm not even sure if we can leave right now. We have climbed down ropes. Are the ropes still there?
I was hoping.
Oh no, they're most assuredly not.
I believe there was also chains, so we could probably climb the chains once they've cooled down.
Oh crap!
Yeah.
All right, let's.
So we have to take care of these orcs, at least to pass the time.
Yeah, and I mean the orcs have left them alone because even over the sound of the fire, you could still hear them saying they would never break the chains.
Okay, I'll just start hewing at that door then.
I mean, that or we block this door and pick a different door.
Maybe the Hey, you guys look like you're having a real hard problem out there. Do you need jobs?
Yeah.
You looking for work?
Hi, Carlos.
Okay. So you're hewing at the door, correct?
Yep.
All right. Roll some damage.
+3, so 6. Unless
That's
it's
all
kind
it
of just
takes.
large.
No. The constant burning for multiple rounds and previous rounds before that, and arrows sticking in it and everything else. It shudders and enough of it falls away. And the scorpion that the orcs had wheeled up on the end of the hallway has got a very clear shot at you now.
It has to hit me first.
Yes, it does, but I think an 18 should suffice.
Armor class 3.
Let's see. Well, that's a fair cop. Again, I am going to the book.
Mm-hmm.
And as my co-host says, it is a Dungeon Master's Guide, therefore it falls open to the combat section. Alrighty. In the great parlance of mine must be broken, it always falls open to the magic items section.
That means you're supposed to give us more magic items.
Does it now? All right, so an 18 will hit.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, come on, how many people can say they've had a siege engine shot at them today? All right.
It'll be a great story when this is all over.
If I was using my halberd, I would have only... My armor class would have been 2. Oh well.
And how many hit points does...
13.
13.
13 left.
13 left. Well, you have less now.
Mm-hmm.
On a scale of 1 to 13, you feel about a 2.
Okay. So I take 11?
Yes.
Oh boy.
I'm okay. Zonk. You see Average fly backwards about 3 feet. Then they start pulling on the rope. I'm kidding. They didn't harpoon the dwarf. All right.
I'm gonna do that. I swear to God. When my party
You're gonna
fights
do that?
ogres, they're gonna have Bill to blame. Oh God, that's brilliant.
That actually is
That's brilliant.
that is a 100%. If this ain't a video game, it's D&D move.
I'm doing that.
Okay, so yes, out of the darkness, a great bolt from a light siege engine has impaled Average, and he is staggered. He kind of turns around to face you, and every time he moves a little bit, there's a little spritz of head cheese, because he's taken this thing, through the shield, through his arm, through his abdomen, out his back, out his armor. You hear howls of derisive laughter and a ratcheting sound from somewhere in the darkness. What are Valoric and Bajibas doing?
Valoric's lobbing that flask of oil he had ready down the hallway towards that ratcheting sound, and then looking down at Sir Average saying, "Hold on a moment, please." And Bajibas will fire a crossbow shot down there too.
Okay. What is Average doing?
You're muted.
I'm gonna stand there and bleed.
Okay.
No, I'm getting out of the line of fire.
Sure. What is Jeanin doing?
Gina will take some shots and hopefully get out of the line of fire before the thing shoots again.
Every time the dwarf gets hit, take a shot.
Yeah.
What is Lynx doing?
He's muted.
Yes.
Happened to me. I'm shooting people with my bow, shooting a siege crew.
Okay. And how about Turgo?
Firing as well.
All right. Let's go ahead and roll initiative then. 2 hasn't rolled recently. You know what? You can go ahead and do it there, Ricky, since you're stepping out of the way.
That's a 4.
You are able to sidle out of the way. Go ahead, those of you shooting, pardon me, missile weapons. You can. The orcs aren't using light sources. They're a distance away, but yeah, you're able to you're able to see some targets down there. So go ahead and roll your missile.
Bajibus misses with a 9. Valoric hits with a 16.
Okay, roll some damage for Valork.
Miss.
5.
All right, that orc slumps and he is quickly dragged away, and another orc steps up and is working some kind of windlass on the side. Well, I mean, you know what it is. You've seen siege engines. He's
Is
locking
the
and
one
loading.
hit burning? Valoric
No.
threw the oil.
Oh, he threw oil.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yes, he is. He is on fire. Roll 2d6 to see how much fire he is on.
That was 5 points.
So he's on some of the fire, but that's still enough to turn him into baby back ribs. Next missile fire. Anyone else?
Gene missed.
Okay.
Miss.
Doomsword. Anything? Miss.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. The orcs seem perfectly content to spend the rest of the round readying the scorpion again. So you guys who have a second ROF may do so.
Will an 18 hit?
Yes, it will.
5 points of damage.
That orc is no longer with us, and likewise, he is dragged out of the way, and another one leaps to it. He is looking down a brass tube that is on some kind of crude stand.
And I hit AC3.
That will hit.
40-foot hallway. He's using a telescope.
They're orcs. They're not super intelligent.
1
It's the
point of
wrong
damage.
way.
Yeah, they tiny. Must take careful aim. How much damage was that?
1.
1. Okay. That orc just ow rips it out, throws it to the ground. Okay, the orcs spend the rest of the round preparing the scorpion to fire again. They will shoot at whoever they can see. One of them yells in broken common, "Hey, you! Line up! All get in row! Make easier!" The equivalent of the old Quake 2 call out, "Hey guys, line up! I'll get my railgun." Okay, next round. Is Valoric going to cast Cure a spell on Average?
Yes, Cure Light Wounds on Average, and Bajibus
Right.
will hunker down next to the doorway and take another shot at one of the guys trying to fire the.
If you stick your head out, okay, just all right. Is Average going to sit there and be healed?
I'm not sticking my head out.
Okay, that's fine. How about Jeanin?
Jeanin is backing away, will not stick his head out.
Okay, and Lynx.
If somebody else is doing it, I got to present a second target. So one of us, we have.
All right.
Hope, so I'll shoot again.
Okay, and Turgo.
I'll fire.
Okay, well, the orcs have what is referred to as a target-rich environment. Let's see. Mark, roll initiative for us, please, and roll well.
That's 4.
Sorry, I was muted. 4.
4. Okay. Well, here's the good news. It's a tie. Here's the bad news. It's a tie. Shong! All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Look, I'm a unicorn.
Yes, you certainly are.
So those nose goes shoot him.
Oh, but just to the tune of 7 points of damage.
Who though?
Oh, Lynx. Sorry.
Oh, dang it! What I get for
You said
making
I'm a
jokes.
unicorn, and I was like, yes, you are. To the tune of 7 points of damage. But hey, honestly, how many adventurers, how many people in a D&D game can say we were shot with siege weapons at second and third level and carried the day?
We don't know if we can carry the day yet.
Yeah,
That's the issue.
that second part hasn't happened yet.
Unless you're telling us, Bill, that we just wrap this up and we're done. And we
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Oh, that would cheat you guys and our valued viewers. I would never do that. I wouldn't do that to you or our audience. That is bad dungeon mastering. Okay.
Worth
The orcs brought two up.
No, you'd think they'd be that dumb, but they're throwing oil on the windlass mechanism and knocking another one and clack, 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 clack. So you may return fire. You may fire when ready, Gridley.
Bejeebus got a 15 and does 3 points of damage.
All right, that orc screams, but he is resolute.
I miss.
Okay. Lynx.
I hit for 4.
I see. Oh. Okay. Yeah, and that orc also howls in pain. He dances back, but still ambulatory, but another takes his place. They spend the rest of the round working on the scorpion. You guys can get your second round of arrow fire.
What's my healing?
Genin, you gain. I guess it was Genin. No, it was Sir Average. 7
Yes.
points. Sorry.
There you go. Average back up to 9. Above average.
Miss.
All right.
Miss.
Okay.
Nobody else gets shot. That was my last healing spell.
Anybody doesn't want to get shot, best get out of the way. Okay, well, I have a pretty good idea what the orcs are doing in the next round. Valoric and Bejeebus, what are you doing?
Valoric's going to prepare a whole person spell.
Aha! How about Average? You're feeling plucky.
I'm going to duck behind my shield, get out my bill, and charge down that hallway. Or at least duck behind my shield and charge down that hallway.
Alrighty. How about Lynx?
I'm gonna remove a bolt from my head, I guess.
Oh no, it's not a bolt. It's a
Okay.
spear.
Yeah, I'm gonna deal
Yeah, it's
with
an artillery bolt.
I'm gonna make sure I'm not in range for the second round. This one.
Okay. And I'm sorry, Mark. What is Genin doing?
So they fired every other round, correct?
That seems to be their rate of fire. Yes.
Then I will shoot arrows down the
Okay.
hall, asking Sir Average to hold on a second. Doink doink. There you can go.
Okay. And how about Turgo Doomsword?
Yeah, I'll do the same. Shoot.
Alrighty then, Doomsword. Roll initiative, please.
Come on. God. Oh, a 1.
Okay.
That's like 4 ones in a row on things.
You gotta punish your dice, man.
I'm changing them even.
Well, how about that? A crossbow, a scorpion bolt does not rock you like a hurricane. It sails right past the party, right through the open door in the far chamber, and clatters somewhere in the caves behind you guys. It missed. Now, I believe it was Average that said he was sprinting around and running straight down that hall. Okay.
And
Average.
Yeah.
Well, missile fire does go first, so go ahead and take your shots, if you would, please, Gina. Well, your first shot.
Missed, unless a 12 will hit.
No.
Bejeebus missed too.
Okay.
All right. Well, at least I hit.
Okay. And Lynx.
Oh, I was behind the doorway this round. I don't want to get hit.
No, that's fine. I know both of you, by the way, I just have to point this out to our audience. I know that Corion and Doomsword are both just happen to be using a green screen, but the arrangement in StreamYard makes it looks like you're both like sitting right next to each other in front of a green curtain.
Yeah.
You're getting ready to do
Right,
Sports
yeah.
Center.
my background dropped.
Tonight, the Big 12, are they in trouble? Okay.
I've got a damage to roll for my arrow that actually
yes,
hit.
you do, please.
All right, 4.
Okay,
Play a little plinko.
he felt that. He did not like it.
Did the whole person spell get any of them?
How many segments is Old Person?
5.
It does not go yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Average yells, Barak Kazad, Kazad Aimenu, charges around the corner, goes in about 15 feet, and plummets straight to the bottom of the pit.
Well,
Oh no.
the pit's still
The
there.
good news is you only take 3 points of damage. Yes, the pit is still there.
Also, good news, you're not in line of fire now.
You aren't in line of fire. Caster Hold Person, there just happen to be 3 orcs, and the size of the scorpion is blocking the hallway. So you may go ahead and I will save. Are you casting it on 3, 2, or 1?
I suppose 3. How many of us on the scorpion there?
Oh, does not save. That is the opposite of a successful save. I rolled a 2, a 1, and a 1.
Sweet.
So the orcs see Average bolt around the corner, run 15 feet in, and drop, and they all yell and point and are laughing and are now frozen that way
For 7 rounds.
for 7 rounds.
It's a freeze frame effect. They're all like, yeah, and now they're stuck.
Exactly. Executive producer Larry David. So they're all frozen there. The orcs behind them are a little perplexed. They can't really get around them. They can't really work the scorpion. It's going to take them a couple of rounds to figure out what to do. What does the party wish to do?
We have second missile. Is it easier to hit them now that they're just standing there?
It is an automatic hit, even with range penalties.
Then I guess I hit them. Hit one.
Yes.
For 4 points of damage.
Okay. You don't know if he's alive or dead, but he doesn't move.
And I'll hit one for 6 points of damage.
Same.
Okay.
Anybody else want to shoot at them?
If I can, I'll take a shot this round.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bejeebus won't be able to, I don't guess, until the next round.
Correct.
With a crossbow.
That's a hit for 3.
Okay. Yeah, your arrows just kind of thud into their bodies, and it's the funniest thing because like one of them is like pierced through his cheek, and he's like jeering and making an obscene gesture and smiling, and an arrow thuds into him, and he doesn't even budge. So going around the table, Valoric and Bejeebus, what are you doing in the next round?
Valoric's going to check on Lynx and see how badly wounded he is. I guess Bejeebus is going to take a shot, try to hit one of the guys behind the ones that are being held.
Okay. Kyle, what is... I'm sorry, Ricky, what is Average doing?
I'm in a hole.
That's very true. You are in a hole. Didn't know if you were doing anything in particular in the hole other than holding your elbow going, damn it!
About all I can do.
So bad. Mark, how about Geenan?
Geenan will, I guess, enter the doorway and start continuing to take shots.
Okay. What is Lynx the Fightar doing?
We'll be shooting this round.
Turgo?
I'll move up toward the pit and see if I can do anything to help Average get out.
Yeah, I mean, you can lower a rope or whatever.
I've got a rope and I've got a 10-foot pole.
Okay. Stretch Pulaski, tallest pole I ever met. Okay.
We're fishing for dwarves, tie the rope.
Now there would be have you guys seen the magnet fishing guys on YouTube? It's like, you won't believe what we found. Is it a rusty bicycle? Yeah. Then I can believe it.
These
They got
big
cracked
nails, so
me
it's
up.
just like clang with a big magnet. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, exactly. You just need a big enough rare earth magnet. I tell you, the guys that do the magnet fishing crack me. It's like, I'm sorry, if I was magnet fishing and gonna upload it on YouTube, it's like a lot of times they bring up guns. If I brought up a gun, I would be like, nope, take it right off the magnet, throw it right back in, delete that video. Because they're like, yeah, we're on 59th Street on the Cuyahoga River in Ohio, 2 blocks from our house, magnet fishing. Oh, look, we found 3 guns with a serial number scraped off that looked like they were dropped here in the 70s. I wonder if these are worth anything. They're not worth your life. I'm going to tell you that. So, all right. So, automatic hits, except for throwing around or shooting around the orcs. Go ahead and roll that one.
Okay. Ooh, a 20.
Oh, that guy is hit. Roll some damage. This might be important.
3 points.
Okay, yeah, he takes that in the back and howls in pain. He was one of the ones you'd hit before, actually. He howls in pain and drops to the floor.
Excellent.
Hit the floor, orc. You are dead, pork. No more, no more. Anyway, so yes, Turgo, you can lower your rope or your pole or your just make a fishing rod and go dwarf fly fishing. You got to lead him. You got to give him some rope. Let him play. Just let him tire himself out, and then you can land him.
Right.
Secrets to coat it in peanut butter.
Well, no, it's a dwarf. You got to lower like a jug of cider down there. My God, there's 3 orcs, or there's 3 dwarves on the end of the line. I thought it was just Average that went down there. Okay, Average, you may take this round and climb out. You have 4 rounds of hold person remaining. There are a couple.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say there are a couple more orcs who are. They're moving, but they're clearly turning to move away from the scorpion.
Any chance Geenan can shoot any of those orcs, or is he just shooting the poor slobs that are in front that are held?
No, you can absolutely take a shot. They just get very serious cover bonuses because of the size of the siege engine and the bodies of their fellows.
I think a 20 might still hit.
Good God, yes. Roll
6
your
points of
damage.
6.
Hey,
That is a dead orc. A 19. Would you guys stop it? Okay, roll some damage.
Only 2 though.
Okay, he's still up and vanishes into the darkness.
He's got a cool scar now.
Yeah, he does. All of the orcs that you guys have encountered that are still alive have quote-unquote cool scars. Chicks dig scars, and there's a lot less guys, so there's a lot less competition for them. So you're actually doing the orc dating scene a service.
Somebody's got to make new orcs.
Okay. Average, you're up. The orcs on the siege engine are as stiff as boards and as full of arrows as wooden targets. You don't immediately see or hear any other orcs. For the first time in like a half an hour, the din of battle and the roar of flames is not assailing everyone's ears here. What do you wish to do?
I'll
Is
just
there
start
any way
moving
to
to where.
get that scorpion through the
Go
doorway?
ahead.
Yeah, let's get the siege engine up and out of here. That's ours now.
Okay. The siege engine is actually on very easy rolling wheels. Once you pry the hands of the orcs off or cut them off, however you're doing it, it only takes you a couple of rounds, and they were very dead courtesy of the arrows that you guys filled them full of. So you're not going to have that awkward moment where they come out of old person and start screaming and holding their stumps. There's a barrel with 4 bolts. The siege engine itself, which is, as siege engines go, is fairly small, but it's still, it's still got some serious throw and heft to it. Yeah, you can start moving it out.
Awesome. Well, we should at least move it to the cistern. I don't know if we want to explore more this delve or if we're leaving. I think we could kind of leave.
I think we have to leave, unfortunately.
We need to loot the
Okay.
bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we get that scorpion across the pit?
The base of it's basically too big. It will not fall in the pit.
Okay, cool.
I mean, it can get jammed there if you're not careful, but you've got a dwarf with you who's got an eye for that kind of thing, so I'm just going to give it to you that, yes, you can get it across the pit without any issues.
Can I
Gina will
disable-
help manhandle it over the pit and into the cistern.
I'm sorry, Ricky, what were you saying?
Can I disable that damn pit? I thought after the last time we were down here, it was permanently disabled.
It was. And a permanently disabled pit is full of stuff. So we just blocked the trap mechanism. So I think they just fixed it.
I thought the stone had collapsed all around the sides of it, and it had collapsed, didn't like collapse. Fall
Oh,
down.
no. It hadn't filled it in. They had knocked the stone ledges away, the sloped ledges, but that was not nearly enough to fill the pit up. As far as disabling it,
I just want
if
to
you had a
break the
couple
mechanism that closes the doors.
oh yeah, that's a couple of loving taps with a pry bar, and it will forever be open at that point unless the orcs repair it.
That's fine. That's the condition I thought it was in. So
Okay, well,
I'll restore it to that condition.
fair enough. And I do want to show you guys this. I hope this shows up good on camera. Having the camera in widescreen limits the amount of zoom I can do, but it makes for a clearer picture. So hopefully you guys will see this. I do have a little bit of scatter terrain there. I'm not sure how well that shows up.
I see some of it. Should we check that stuff before we go?
For sure.
There are some braziers for torches on the walls, as you can see. There's the old redoubtable barrel. I mean, you have to roll that out of the way that had the the meat trap.
Somebody else can touch that.
Thanks, you take care of that. That's your barrel.
No.
Back
Busy
here,
with
where
the siege engine.
back here where these old bags of grain were is about where the siege engine was.
Oh, it was that far back. Oh.
Yes. You basically you can get it to the door, push the barrel out of the way or push the barrel into the pit as you like. And that's when you hear the marching of feet and more orcish shouts of challenge. More orcish shouts of outrage. They stole our scorpion! Ah!
My scorpion. All
I
right.
think we should be leaving.
Yeah, we gotta
Scorpion
get out.
wins.
I don't think I'm going to be able to take this with me unless I can rig something real fast.
Tie it to the bottom of the chain and we'll yank.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of is I tie it to a chain, go up, and then we try and pull it up.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are going to anchor it on a chain, climb up, and then try and pull it up, correct?
We can block and tackle it up. Yeah, that's not hard.
Okay. About the time you guys get up, when you're up and you got your, you got yourselves sorted. You can hear the chains rattling and they're being tugged on. The orcs are trying to remove the scorpion back to their own stronghold.
Valoric's going to drop a hot flaming oil on their heads.
Nice. Well, it's still gonna be a 2-hit roll. So go ahead and do that.
Not on my precious siege engine.
You guys just pull up like a loose collection of
I just
iron.
rolled a 5.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. We'll do a scatter and let's see. It hit neither orcs nor siege engine, but let's see. What is their morale like? Oh, they're mad as hell. Arrows are being fired back up in return.
All right, a couple people help me pull this. Everybody else return fire down the well.
Gina and Sir Average are the most swole.
Valoric is struck by 2 arrows for 3 and 4 points of damage, respectively.
Ouch.
Shunk, shunk. The rest of you, if everyone adds up their Ben Bar's lift gates and tells me what that percentage is.
I've got 25.
Okay.
I have 4.
Okay.
I actually don't know what mine is off the top of my
have
head. I never
7.
bothered to look because of my gloves.
It's
Ajibas has 7.
It should be the same as yours, Gene, I think.
no. Your gloves give you what? 18.
18 double nuts.
Then that's
Yeah.
40. So that's
Okay,
65
that's
plus change. These people are saying.
All right. Who wants to roll a Ben Bar's lift gates to try and tear this thing out of the orc's grasp? Or do you want me to?
DM does it.
All right.
It's too important a roll.
Oh, yeah. You guys heft this thing up. The orcs are, they're as mad as hell, but you guys drag that siege engine up, and it's now, you can manhandle it over to the edge.
As we
I'd like
get
to
away
think
from the opening, Valor's going to do a parting shot with another flask of oil, just kind of toss it over the lip.
All right. Well, if you're not looking, I'm just going to do splash on it.
I'd like to consider this victory a moral victory over the orcs as well.
Yeah. Likewise, they're firing arrows up, but they're basically just shooting blind. So you just hear them ticking off the lip of the cistern. So you guys, have gone full McLean on them. Ho, ho, ho. Now we have a siege engine too.
Exactly.
I should have 3D printed a little siege engine. I'll do that before the next game. I will straight up resin print a siege engine if you guys want to try and use it as a dungeon implement.
I expected to see one of those under that felt, Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly didn't think it'd come to that. It's okay. Well, you set it on fire, and that's the end of it, or you rush past it. So
It only cost us 2 followers.
Hey, that happened before the scorpion even. So this is revenge.
Yep.
They took 2 of our followers, and we took their scorpion.
Well,
Those are human lives, man.
Yeah, but they weren't my human life.
Hey,
That's a good point.
Okay.
I guess we're going back.
The laughing crow is strangely silent. It does not mock you as you wheel your anti-tank missile out of the dungeon.
Victory
Yeah.
sweet.
So you
house for some rest.
and I mean, yeah, I mean, you guys can conduct a degree of defense against siege warfare if the orcs get sick and tired of it and decide to hunt you down.
What does this weapon actually fire? Is it special ammunition?
Scorpion bolts, basically. Picture a heavy iron spear.
Okay.
Is basically what it fires, or iron-headed spear rather.
Okay.
It has wooden fletches on it, I believe, for guidance.
So not just a spear, but something special.
Right. I mean, you could stand a spear up next to it and say, okay, hack this much off, and we've got essentially a scorpion bolt.
If we have javelins, we can probably convert them without too much effort as well.
We have
Easily.
javelins and spears in the cart. So
Wow.
Yeah.
We've got
Javelins-
4 bolts
javelins in
because
an
I got 4
afternoon.
javelins. So it's time to go back in there.
When we looted the orcs, is there any chance I can grab a few pairs of boots?
I mean, some of the orcs were only wearing one. Some of them had rags on their foot.
They don't have to match.
Yeah. I'll say in the ruckus, if you want to, you could have grabbed one pair of boots.
I can get 3 or 4 arrows out of that easily, so that's fine.
Oh, there you go. So let's see.
Well, each boot.
For those who want to know, this is a light scorpion, so it requires a minimum of 2, a maximum of 4 crew. Maximum range is 32 inches, which of course is 320 feet underground, 320 yards above ground. Damage versus small to medium is 2 to 12. Damage versus large is 3 to 18. And its resale value, well, I mean, if it's well maintained, is 75 gold pieces. And in case you're wondering, yes, it will count to the value of it will count towards XP.
My question is it small enough to strap to the back of the dwarf?
what's the encumbrance value of a scorpion?
All of it, but with the dwarf strength, I mean, pushing it through a dungeon hallway is you're never going to surprise anyone. You're always going to be surprised. Doesn't matter. Squeak, rattle, thud, thud, clunk, thud, thud, squeak, rattle is a hell of a thing when you're trying to creep up a dungeon hall.
Can I strip it down enough to lighten it so it's man portable and not wheelable?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'll get followers next trip back to Greyhawk. I was going to get ranged people anyway. We can just make them carry it.
It's a nice thing. It'll be a nice thing, not for dungeon exploration, but to keep on the wagon. Because it'll make overland exploration much, much safer.
I don't think it's going to fit on the cart.
Well, no, you have to get a bigger one.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's got wheels. We just tow behind the
I
car.
was about to say it's a smooth cannon.
Yeah.
Those wheels are like yay big, my guy.
But I like the idea of us inventing the tank by mounting this thing on maybe a turret that turns a little bit and putting it on a wagon. That sounds like a great idea.
We just get a second cart, mount it up a little higher.
Yeah.
Are you not familiar with the with war wagons?
Oh yeah,
Those
yeah.
were a thing.
I am actually. Yeah.
Those were scary.
So let me see if I can find a nice image of one of these things here. That is a good one. Let's see. I will share this in the chat for all of you who are wondering if because I kept saying scorpion. If you're picturing a land lobster with a poisoned butt, that is not what we are talking about. You may click that link there.
When Sir Average opened the door and you said scorpion, that's what I thought. Oh, great. They brought their beast.
Yeah. No, I actually have scorpion miniatures. I would have put those down. But yeah, congratulations, guys. You killed some orcs. You did lose a few men-at-arms, and I'm sorry for that. But I mean, you took the best the orcs could throw at you, and you came out on top. What will come next? Well, valued viewers and valued players, we'll just have to find that out next week. We are at the bottom of the hour. I hope everyone had fun this evening.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
That was a slightly subdued there from Ricky, but
Hey, Sir Average lived.
you live to fight another
Damn
day.
pit.
Hey, sometimes we all have our Bugs Bunny moments in D&D. But anyway, thank you again for our audience. Thank you guys for the insane live chats tonight. I really appreciated that. Thank you so much. Thank you to our players. And if you just kind of cruised by, maybe you got caught up in the whirlwind of the algorithm, and this is your first time stopping by, why don't you consider clicking that subscribe button, because that's always a lot of fun, because you'll get updates on when we're going to do other crazy stuff like this. And we do this every Tuesday night. Now, tomorrow, Skylar Hernstrom is going to be in the house. He's going to talk about his writings, pulp, fantasy, sword and sorcery, and Advanced Dungeons and Dragons First Edition. That's going to be a good one. And then Ricky will be here to give us all a talk about Morkborg. I had to pause to make sure I was going to say it right. I didn't want to slip up. He'll be here to talk to us about Bjorn Borg, the tennis player from Sweden in the 1980s. That's something completely different. And then Friday, we're going to play a little bit of Gamma Roll. We're going to have some fun in the radioactive fields of the Shattered Earth. So again, thank you, audience. Thank you, players. Thank you, everybody. Love you all. See you tomorrow night. Peace.
Good night, everybody.
Night.